What's going on, everybody? We are back again for another video. Today we are going to be going over the Delta Plastiks C8 Corvette body for the Traxxas XO-1, and we are going to be painting it just like Justin's Corvette C8 from Horsepower Obsessed. Let's get into today's video. Now, Justin's C8 Corvette is actually painted in torch red. So it's a very, very nice red, and it has those carbon flash accents to it, which look really nice in person. And the entire car is actually wrapped in Expel Stealth, so it has like a little bit of a matte red hue to it. So what we're going to do is do red on the inside of the body, and then after that we're going to do 2 coats of flat clear on the outside on all the surfaces that should be red. Now the areas that are going to be carbon flash, those areas we're not going to do the matte clear over top of, just because we want them to remain glossy. But we're going to try and get it as close as possible to Justin's real car, and then we will see what he thinks about it. Taking a quick look at the chassis on the XO-1, so I went ahead and already trimmed the body up. I ended up putting the high-speed front diffuser on here because I am planning on changing the gears out on this one as well. That way I can get my maximum speeds on here. So I wanted to trim the body according to this. Now, obviously, there are a couple accents up here. Like, you're going to have this front splitter, which is going to stick down a little bit lower than the actual plastic splitter on the chassis. So that's going to be painted in the carbon flash as well. But moving along to the sides here, you can see where it's actually on the outside of the kind of like side skirts, where the factory XO-1 body kind of sat in between the channel here. Where this one is not. It's going to stick a little bit on the outside, but it does pretty much go flush the whole way back. Now the rear wheel does seem to be like it's sunk in a little bit, but it's not really anything too crazy, because when you look at the front wheel, it's also stuck in a little bit. Now, just with the size of the body, it's not specifically meant for the XO-1, but like I said, with a little bit of trimming and a little bit of finagling, you can get it to fit the chassis. I saw this in the hobby store that I have close to me, and it was painted in a really nice blue, and they were just giving it back to the customer, and as soon as I saw it, I was like, I have to have that. So even though it does not fit the chassis exactly like, you know, an XO-1 body would, I think it's still going to look really cool once it's done. You can see on the hood here, here's one of the authentication stickers where it says it's made in Italy. But other than that, the only thing I plan on doing is I took the factory rear spoiler off of my XO-1, hint the Expel there. I had that body wrapped in Expel paint protection film. But what I plan on doing is putting this somewhere on here like that. Now it is going to take a little bit of effort because it doesn't exactly line up where the factory one would, because this body did come with a Lexan rear spoiler that you could apply to it, but I want to do the actual plastic one, and that's what Justin likes as well. He likes it better than the painted one, so we're going to go ahead and do that one. But we're going to have to figure out how we're going to do that, but we should be able to make it work. So I think once it's all said and done and painted up, this thing's going to look pretty sweet. Alright, so now that we have the inside of the body cleaned, all the windows are masked off, and all the areas that are going to be painted in different colors other than red are also masked off. I didn't film any of that just because it's a lengthy process and it's kind of tedious, because you want to make sure that all the areas are covered, and you want to make sure that they're done correctly, and it just takes a lot of time. So we went ahead and just skipped through that part. But now that everything is masked, we're going to go ahead and get some paint on this thing. So for the base color, I'm going to do the Tamiya PS-2, which is like a really nice red. I think it's just a basic red. There's no metallic in it. So we're going to do probably 2 or 3 coats of that as a base layer down. And then after that, we're going to do a silver. More than likely, I got some PS-12, which is a silver from Tamiya as well. We're going to do that on top of the red, that way that the red still has a little bit of, it's not too dark, it's still pretty light. So after we have the PS-12 on, which is the silver, we're going to start taking off some of the masking. So like the side windows, the rear window, those areas are going to just be painted in like a regular gloss black. And same with like the windshield cowl up here. Now some of the other bits, like the side pieces here, like this is where you grab to get into the side into the car. The front splitter. Let's see what else. This area around the rear window, those are all masked off separately because that's going to kind of have like the carbon flash look to it. So I went ahead and got a metallic black from Duratrax, I believe makes it. So let me find it here out of my mix of paints. Yeah, so here's a metallic black. I don't know how well the camera's gonna pick it up, but we'll hopefully get some better lighting so we can see it. But we're gonna do metallic black on all of those surfaces, and then for the final coat over the underneath, then we will do one last layer of black, and then after that's all done, then we will do the flat clear on the outside of the body. That way we have the matte red, and then we'll just go from there. Alright, so I went ahead and finished this body off camera just because where I was painting the body, it was kind of too dark. And the rest of the job after that, it just took some time, and I ended up finishing it up in the garage. So anyway, we did 10 coats on the inside of the body, between the red, the white, the metallic black, and the straight black. And then we went ahead and did 2 coats of flat clear on the outside, put all the decals on, like the headlights, the emblem, the front grills. I painted the windows black to match Justin's. We did the carbon flash here, we did the splitter up front, and then we did the area around the rear window in the metallic black, and then the rest of those windows in black. This is the factory wing that comes on the XO-1. So I went ahead and put it on here because this is what Justin liked. So that's what we put on here to replicate it. So other than that, I think it came out pretty good. So on camera it's going to look kind of pink, but I promise you it's matte red. So I'm really happy with how it came out. It definitely was a lot of work, but it's going to be a pretty fun car. Thanks for watching. If you liked some of the content that you were seeing, subscribe to our YouTube channel as well as Justin's YouTube channel. He does all kind of cool videos with Corvettes and trucks. So he's a really awesome channel to follow. So I will leave his link in the description box below. You guys can go and check out him and follow him as well. But I think he will be really happy with how this came out. He's going to do a video on it himself, so we will see how it goes.